Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a moving average. Now I'm going to show two examples of how to create a moving average. One using the moving average function, and it's a little bit more manual, and the other one also uses the moving average function, but it uses the feature in Excel called the data analysis tools. So there's some pros and cons of using each. It's kind of up to people's preferences of which one they would prefer more. But let's go in and show the first example. So let's say for this example, we are doing a 12-month moving average. So let's go ahead and change this to 12 month, right? Let me also double click this to fill in the text here. So if we're doing a 12-month average, we're really not going to start to have values in here until we get to the 12th month. So that basically be December. So that's when we have our full 12 months. And so when we get down to December here, what we're going to do is just use the average function. Type average, and what we're going to do is choose January to December. So we have our full 12 months, close that, press Control Enter, and we have our average here for that 12 months, so 349.5. And all I need to do is just drag the fill handle here, and since I have these as relative cell references, I don't have a dollar sign in front of them. When I drag it down, you'll notice that it's changed here. It's changed from C3 to C14, so it's moved here. So if I click in here, it'll tell me this kind of the blue marking on the text here indicates that my cell range selection here is from C3 to C14, my other 12 months of averages. Let me go ahead and press escape to get out of that. And so all I need to do is I can go here or here. I'm going to go back to the top here and just click the fill handle there and just double click it. Oops, let me go, since I already had this filled out, I'm gonna go ahead and double click it again, and it's gonna copy the formula down to my other cells here. So if I scroll all the way down, you'll notice now that if I click on this cell, it's gonna be the 12 months from January 2012 to December 2012. So it shows C26 to C37, C26 to C37. So that's the average of the 12 months. Now, that's one way of doing it via the average command and just kind of doing it manually. Another way that we can do it is using the data analysis tools. So let me go into sheet 2 here. And with the data analysis tools, what you have to add, if you don't have that add-in in there enabled, you have to enable it. So I have it enabled here. It's under the data tab, and it's under the analysis group. And if that's not available there, there's a couple ways you can get to it. I usually just like to right click any of the tabs here and go to customize ribbon, and the Excel option window opens up, and I just want to go to add-ins here. And under add-ins, I'm going to go ahead and click on the make sure that this is selected, Excel manage add-ins, manage Excel add-ins, click go, and make sure the analysis toolpack that is checked. Once that's checked, that enables that data analysis. Let me go ahead and turn it off just to see if it works. And see if I turn it off, I clicked on that and then it turned off. So that's no longer available. Let me go ahead and bring it back here. Right click, customize ribbon. Let me go under add-ins and make sure manage Excel add-ins, click go and check that box, click OK. And now it should show up under data analysis. So once I have data analysis, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it and a window will open up giving me various options. And the one I want is this moving average option. I select that, double click it, or click OK, and it gives me another window for the moving average. So my input range is going to be basically this range here. So I'm going to go ahead and select from C2 and just drag all the way down here to the bottom to C37. Now, the interval is what kind of average do I want? Do I want a 6-month average, 12-month average? You can change it here. So the nice thing about this is you can kind of change it a little bit more easier than using the average function and doing that manually. So let's say, for example, I do 6 months here, all right? And I want my output range to be this range cell, D2 to D37. So I can just, since I'm at the bottom here, I'm just going to select D37 and go all the way up to D2. And once I click OK, now you'll notice that I've got my average. It's basically done the same thing. It has the average. It's looked at the 6 months, C2 to C7, and it's basically done that same formula. But the nice thing about what the data analysis feature does is it kind of makes it a little bit less manual. So if I can go back into here, let me go ahead and click escape. Then go back into here and double click moving average, and my input range is the same. Let's say instead of 6, I want 12. Right? And I have the same output range. Click OK, and it'll ask that it's going to overwrite the data. I'll click OK, and it's overwritten the data. So I don't really have to go back into each cell and kind of change it and double click it to bring it down. I can just bring up the data analysis window and just do it that way. And so it makes it maybe a little bit more easier. You don't have to think too much about it, but it's basically accomplishing the same thing. We're using the average function. So if I go into cell D13 in my other in my other worksheet here, go into D13, you notice it's the exact same thing, the average C2 to C13. I go back here, average C2 to C13. So basically it does the same thing, but it makes it maybe a little bit easier to modify or edit later on. So there's two ways that we can create a moving average. One doing it manually using the average function, and one using the data analysis feature in Excel. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.